Hello, 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 folks. We are back. Hello. I'm Alex. I'm the Devil's Advocate. I host Devil's Advocate Productions here on this space, talking about movies, music, TV, video games, and politics, and whatever I feel like talking about on this channel. What's going on, folks? I am back. I have returned. Nobody want to see the devil? I know, Wes. It's crazy. I'm here. I'm back. Yeah, shout out Wes. Look, sometimes we have 4 people, sometimes we have 2 people. Sometimes we have 1 person. Sometimes it's just me and Nick. I'm just talking to Nick. Producer Nick, shout out. I'm talking to the mods. You know, it's okay. It's okay. The whole point of this space is that it's just here. It's here, and if you're bored and you tune in, you're going to get some news, you're going to get some entertainment. You never know what you'll get. You might get some video games, you might get some movie reviews. There's all kinds of stuff on this space. I will share with you what I've been doing the last couple things that I've made. And that is I listened to Brian Andrews for 4th of July. His album Independence Day, containing all his protest music. There's also, yes, a trailer reaction for Ben Shapiro's movie with Jonathan Majors. The interview I did last Wednesday with Danielle Welch, right here in this time slot, talking about her run against Tom Suozzi in New York, one of the corporate Democrats who is against any kind of change or status quo shift for the Democratic Party. I also talked about Star Fox because I watched Independence Day on Independence Day, and I really, really wanted to play that level again. And you know what? There's a brand new Star Fox, and it's good. It's good, and I'm having a blast. I listened to Beyonce for the first time. She dropped an album. She dropped a song on Independence Day, and today I listened to this hip-hop duo that I've seen on Twitter called Party of Two. They're not very big, but this album, America's Next Top Party, which I thought was going to be a little more politically charged than it was. Just a fun time. So that is what I got going on. But, we've got some news. I think, look, we're going to start out with, I guess, what we were just talking about the last time we were on a few hours ago with Andrea. And that is the Platner debacle. So Graham Platner, as you know, Senate candidate in Maine, won the primary. He was credibly accused of rape, and most people who supported him jumped off on Monday when the accusations came down. People read the article, made their own assessments. It sucks. It sucks. What I'm hoping for, what a lot of supporters are hoping for, is that he just drops out as soon as possible. That the support base, because it is what Bernie said, right? Not to get cheesy, but it's not me, it's us, right? So it's not about him. Sure, he was a effective communicator for those ideals, but it was the ideals that people were voting for. It was the ideals that beat Janet Mills by 50 fucking points. All right. And I think it's fair for the base who voted for him to get a choice in who they want to replace that candidate they voted for. So, we'll see. There's word he might drop out as early as tonight. I'm going to be going 2 hours, so I'll be here with Deter is on his way, and then I'm going to be on with Lumen. And if Platner gives a speech and drops out, or at any time, we will cut to it. But there are some updates in the last couple days. First of all, talking about who would replace him, the favorite right now is Troy Jackson, who was part of DSA, and he ran for governor, I believe. And then is being like, I understand what's happening and I appreciate the support. We are, looking into what should be done, and of course, condemning Platner and whatnot. A lot of people saying Platner shouldn't endorse anybody, and I kind of agree with that. It should be the base again who kind of does this. Let's throw in Deter, who is just arrived.
Hey, how are ya?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. It's been a while. Thank you for holding down the fort. A lot has happened that I've just honestly not wanted to talk about, and that's why I haven't been online. And I've also just trying to enjoy my summer a little bit. So appreciate you taking up the hour these last couple of weeks. I went to the USA Turkey game in Los Angeles, which was really fun. Yeah. It didn't matter. We had already won our group, but it was cool to see a World Cup game in person. A friend of mine from college took me. He's Turkish, so you got a vested interest in going. And then, man, I got to tell you, I'm always like mindful of who's watching this that knows me, but I got to tell you, just straight up, the 4th of July parades out here on the West Coast are a fucking joke. I hope, my friends that I was with watching the parade with this weekend, I was just like the power monopoly had a truck. There was the fire truck, and then there was the cop cars, and then there was the flag float, and there was another flag float. It was, it was just awful.
Dude, there's a reason the Pride Parade is much more fabulous and amazing than the 4th of July parade.
Well, in California anyway.
Well, anywhere, because it's the straights designing what they're gonna do, and it's gonna be, let's have the cops follow the firefighters this year instead of the firefighters following the cops. So you've been out for a couple weeks. There's been some big DSA wins. There's been some progressive wins. I literally yesterday just talked to a member of DSA New York, who I campaigned for Lindsey Boylan with. And just talking about like what's next, and I've been dying to hear what you think about like, hey, what the fuck? Like now DSA has a big spotlight. You need a YouTube channel, a Twitch stream, media figures to go on the Sunday shows.
Yeah, it's not going to happen anytime soon. DSA doesn't want to be centralized. And it doesn't really have the kind of leadership structure that would produce what you're talking about, because what I've talked about with what they should do, there's a natural salesmanship that you and I have in us. Persuasion. And it's it's a specific form of persuasion. It's unfortunate that it is perceived as salesmanship, or that salesmanship is even sleazy. What if salesmanship actually meant informing the customer about something that they didn't know they needed? Like car insurance. I don't know. Could be anything like that. But anyway,
free healthcare.
you and I are all about trying to make shit popular. We want to make shit popular, and the DSA and their discipline paid off with the Graham Platner situation. The DSA is very strict about its endorsements and about who it chooses to support. And cheers to them for remaining tight on that. Yeah. But I think we're both in the same boat of like, okay, the snowball is building as it's rolling down the hill here. What are we going to do when it reaches the bottom, which is, elections in November? When these people actually come into power. Like, we need to make them household names. We need to make them household names.
Yeah.
And I think we can. I think it's just. I mean, this is the first wave, and then the second wave will be the presidential election when people really show up.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, with this whole Platner situation, that's what we're talking about right now. I think it's important to wrestle with the idea of lesser evil voting. And, you know, I think this is a good clip to kind of dispel anybody who might still be like, well, he's already there and maybe he should stay. Yeah, let me throw it up like this.
And
yeah, that's actually a crazy take. Things are so bad in the U.S. that she was going to vote for her rapist. That's how fucking insane American politics is right now, because that's the other side. That she literally was like, I probably shouldn't come out about my credible rape accusation and maybe even might vote for my rapist because at least he's not a child rapist like the fucking president allegedly could be.
Do you have an echo on your side?
American politics is now a sequence of insane decisions where on the one hand you're like, well, do I want my rapist in office? Well, maybe he's going to be in support of Medicare for all, and he's anti-Israel. Whereas the other side is also rapists, some of them defenders of child rape. So I guess we got to weigh the options, like which rape is the lesser evil. The lesser evil rape trolley problem. Which, by the way, ironically enough, if he was a fucking centrist establishment Democrat, the very same people that are doing victory laps right now would literally be sincerely telling you to vote for the lesser evil rapist. Just understand, that's the distinction between the left and people like fucking Muritanen who work for the Clintons. Okay?
And Cuomo.
That's the difference. They did this with Andrew Cuomo. They unironically looked at Zoran Mamdani and said, you got to vote for Andrew Cuomo, the cop rapist. What do you mean? Fast and free buses? Fuck no. He's Muslim. You got to vote for the cop rapist. Liberals will look at you dead in the eye and tell you this is a lesser evil rapist voter, and then turn around and act all high and fucking mighty.
I mean, I think that's a good point. First of all, shout out the socialist Adri, who does all the clipping for his son, and in the works to be on the show next week.
Sweet.
But yeah, I mean, so there's also, I mean, we can react to that, but this is shorter, and this is also someone who's still kind of, this is making that argument too, and a slightly different one.
Yeah, I'll have some insight after this one.
Unbearable position of having to adjudicate something that should have been adjudicated in a court of law if this actually took place. If someone entered my home and forcibly raped me, I would not allow the individual who forcibly raped me, that's violent, right, to remain in my home and sleep it off. But that is what she did. She alleges she was so drunk that she didn't want to tell him to leave because he might harm someone on the road. He just forcibly raped you, right? Call the cops, or more importantly, the house. But she did neither one of those things.
That's not how you judge it. Pause it real quick.
This is
So this is easy for men because it's just a pretty easy situation to evaluate when you're a man. However, the woman says she dealt with it is how she dealt with it for the reasons she said she dealt with it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no...
He could kill her.
Like, yeah, she's extremely vulnerable. Like, women live in the fear of physical harm from men in a much more prolific way than we do of them, okay? So, to say you should have called the cops, you should have done this, you should have done that, shut up. You don't know what she was dealing with or going through at that time. Here's how I know he's guilty. Two things. One is the timing of this is just ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? Like, this should have happened a while ago. And it's annoying. It's annoying that he strung people along as long as he did.
New York Times interview, and then going on Chris Hayes and saying nothing else is going to come out. Saying those words, you knew you were lying. You knew they interviewed her, and you're just hoping that she doesn't say anything else. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah, man. He partied too hard and got a little obsessed with sex, obviously. If he was having sex with that woman, he was, definitely out there trying to get it. And it catches up with you if you do something as fucked up as force yourself on a woman, which I don't know. I'm average height, average weight, so I don't really. I've never really thought of actually forcing myself on a woman. But if I'm huge, maybe it's and then you add alcohol. Maybe it's and he's a bigger guy.
I mean, he's in the military, and this kind of just runs in the military.
It does it. I mean, I'm reluctant to say that, but is it the hard dominating sex kind of stereotype
Maybe I don't know.
Is that what leads to forced sex when you add alcohol and then it's acceptable? I mean, it's just all too complicated.
Yeah, I'm also not gonna I'm not saying this is it's all military people or whatever or cops or whatever, but there's a reason why ACAP, and what is the military other than even more international police, international cops, I'm not even going to get into his fucking psychologist. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. He's blackout. It doesn't matter. He did this shit, and then you fucking ran for office thinking it wasn't going to come out. It's a level of narcissism. There's a level of entitlement, egoist, just thinking that it's all behind me in my story, in my narrative that he sold us. He sold people a narrative. Now, there's a lot of people claiming, oh, I was right all along. We covered it earlier. McCarthy and Neera Tanden, and both of those can go fuck themselves, right? Neera Tanden with Clinton and Cuomo, McCarthy with every Republican ever. So, go fuck yourselves. The lefties who are making this about I was right, the ones I'm seeing are motherfuckers who are read my newsletter, watch my stream, watch my podcast, look at my videos instead of those people's videos. They were wrong. I was right. I'm thinking particularly Brianna Joy Gray, Vouch, Cavernacle, some of these folks who are just I care more about being right and winning over these peers in the online content creator space than anything to do with actually moving the needle when we're in people who are saying it should have been the tattoo for y'all. Why wasn't it the tattoo?
Right.
I've explained. Right. Fucking skull and crossbones. I couldn't pick out of a lineup. I think there's millions of fucking designs of a skull and crossbones, one of the most common designs, especially of tattoos, but just designs in general on Earth. I wouldn't know the Nazi one. Blumen, who I'm going to talk to in an hour, he was saying he should have known. He's in the military. The military has fucking screenings for those kind of tattoos. They should have known. Now, how much the military cares about white supremacist tattoos is also a question, right? So if you're in the military and you have that, and they might be we're going to look the other way.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. Look, we talk these fucking talking points, the angles on the issue, what we should have seen coming, what we, whatnot. What's the lesson? All right.
I think the lesson is the ideals that he was espousing beat establishment Democrat Janet Mills by 50 fucking points.
Right.
I think that's the story.
That's the lesson for you, and I think the lesson for, that's one lesson. Maybe there are multiple lessons. Anyway, the one lesson that I was thinking of was, don't just buy into the aesthetic.
Yes.
You got a camera-friendly, bearded guy from Maine with a nice, deep voice and a working-class story. And now he's doing what you just referenced, saying all the right things about all the right issues, talking about going anti-establishment. Yeah, vetting should be the biggest lesson. That's maybe the DSA has an opportunity to assert itself here. as the foremost authority on vetting, and because they did not endorse him, and he didn't. Maybe I don't know why he didn't seek their endorsement, but he didn't. And I think that it's a big mess, and hopefully this new guy that they can, I don't know what his name is, but they were going to maybe replace Platner. Yeah, he'll hopefully replace, and we can still get rid of Susan Collins.
Yeah.
But it's a big mess, and Platner's not the guy that I thought he was. I admit I was wrong about him. But I always did the Nazi tattoo and the military service and the PTSD and stuff. It's like, well, how much of that shit has he actually dealt with? Right. Like, he says he's changed, says he's done therapy and whatever, but I never heard the truths. Like, that's what therapy is really about, is discovering truths about yourself that you don't want to maybe come to terms with. And you need someone to help you get there. Yeah. So he never, and he did talk about that with I'm a changed person, I was not that person, but, well, who was that person and who are you now? Right. He didn't get, and this is my issue.
And why was that person wrong?
And this is my issue with a lot of people who are hating on the Platner supporters. Yeah, right, exactly. How'd you grow? Yeah. How'd you get better? How'd you learn? How'd you evolve? Is that, we just got a little excited about a piece of talent and about taking out Susan Collins. Like, the reason why he got so much attention, he probably was a lot because he's a good-looking straight white guy from a purple state.
Yeah, who sounds like Ron Swanson. And
he also was about to take out a huge pillar of conservative federal power with Susan Collins.
Yeah,
and people seem to have forgotten that. But at the end of the day, whether or not this was rape, I don't know. But only the two of them really know, I guess, or maybe only she does because he was wasted and probably maybe doesn't even remember.
Yeah.
But it should have come out sooner. And if he was innocent, if he was 100% confident that he didn't rape her or that it wasn't forceful in any way, he would have denied it like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
He'd be doing all the shows, and he'd be trying to salvage people's hard work.
Yeah, there'd be some kind of countersuit or proof or something. But again, I think it's the fact that they're not, the fact that we're basically waiting on him to drop out. I think it's a foregone conclusion. And again, let this not, like you said, the military background, a lot of people pointed to that as why you shouldn't have trusted him in the first place. And I was right all along.
That's a stereotype.
And
I don't, we got to address stereotypes and acknowledge them and then criticize them directly in order to get rid of them. But that, I think that's especially hearing the guy, I believe this was a fractured guy that had a little bit of talent, a lot of good intentions, but obviously had a problem with partying. And he just felt entitled to sex from someone. I think he felt entitled to sex from someone he had already had sex with. And that's why he showed up there. Yeah. That's why he showed up there and felt entitled to, I guess he forced himself on her, but that's what she says. No one knows for sure. Yeah, what?
I know. I just wouldn't chalk it up to partying. Cause even thinking about the Reddit posts and where people are oh, you should have known from the Reddit post. Looking back on the Reddit posts, the most inflammatory ones were posts kind of victim blaming and talking about hey, women, don't be around men when they're intoxicated. That's kind of on you. Or, watch what you're dressed like and shit like that. Which, again, he said he's moved on from and whatnot, but he didn't ever explain how, never really addressed each one and kind of lumped it all in as these are bad posts. Which, again, I think it's fair for supporters who have been at this point in running for office, everyone's going to have bad posts at some point in their fucking life.
Yeah, so, the posts are survivable. The tattoo and now this allegation are not survivable.
Yeah, but the military background. I just want to play this clip from Hassan again about why maybe don't throw out all military people. Even again, I understand why the uncommitted movement existed and not to vote for Harris. You're like, dude, I know someone who like has family getting bombed right now. Trying to tell them, hey, you got to vote for this person whose administration is actively bombing your family is a no fucking brainer. So anyone who has family who's been affected by the fucking military, of course, it's like anyone who has a family member who was killed by the cops. It's like nothing, no kind of support, no anyone who was an officer is gonna be. I'm gonna support them for office at any point, but. Also acknowledging that the military is highly valorized in this country. It's highly propagandized in this country. It's also the best job route for a lot of people on purpose because in this country, it's valid for Hassan. And I think the left broadly, not that he's our voice or whatever. I'm just saying it's a good argument. That's why I grabbed this clip of not immediately closing the door on anyone who's ever served in the military.
This is how we go down the spiral of Hassan defends Graham Platner for hours, because the conversation does not stay with Graham Platner. It turns into, why don't you think all troops are baby exploiters and child murderers who are rapacious monsters that are bloodthirsty and irredeemable? Yes, on principle, I will never fucking have that attitude. There are plenty of veterans in this community and plenty of anti-war veterans in this community, anti-imperialist veterans in this community, and I welcome them here. And this is a place where they can feel safe. I don't give a shit if you turn around and say that's unacceptable. This is a consistently held principled position that I've had from day one. Okay? I care not about what you have done. I care about how you atone for what you have done. Who you are now matters to me most.
I mean, like, I think that makes sense. Look, I was talking with Andrea earlier, and I brought up the airmen on July 4th who protested for Trump's impeachment on the steps of the Capitol, foregoing his pension after 20 years as an airman. And a lot of people on the day were saying, oh, what a hero, and I'm like, he's part of the military. He spent 20 years, if not killing people actively, helping kill people actively in the military. So if you're going to throw out anyone in the military, you're also throwing out Chelsea Manning. You're also throwing out like people who could be part of this coalition. And if there's only two options in this country, or three, there's no voting, right? There's no voting, so it doesn't really matter. But there's Republican or Democrat. And if you want to, and we're taking over the Democratic Party. So there's going to be like a learning curve for a lot of people of like, what are the standards? This is why it's important that it's not me, it's us, right? It's not Platner, it's the platform that he ran on.
Right. So I think he'll be forgotten over time.
Yes, exactly. And I think that, if you tell everyone in the country, by the way, if you want to be part of this movement, this like exciting Zohar Mamdani, progressive, democratic socialist movement, you can't be part of the military, you can't be a veteran, and they're all going to go to the Republicans, and we don't want that.
I don't think that should be the attitude. I would say just two things. One is if you have a military background, you're definitely welcome to be part of the progressive movement and the DSA. Just make sure you park that military fucking way of relating people to people when you come to meetings and shit. Right. And also understand that you are not going to be entitled or favored for a position of leadership simply because you served in the military.
Yeah.
Might be my only two things to say about, military service members joining the leftist coalition.
We've been talking about this now for a year since we met, basically going like, you want to join? Fine, but you're going to vote. That's all you're going to do. You're not going to tell us who to vote for. You're not going to pitch your own candidates. You're not going to run yourself. And I think maybe that's where Platner should have stayed. Platner should have been a voter. and just voted for whoever. And with true, again, vetting, like Wanda brought up earlier, vetting is a big part of this. And whatever organization was involved with that, high scrutiny, not get the fuck out of here. Levels of disrespect now. Because I looked it up briefly. There's a guy like Dan Morath who is trying to shake up the way Democrats vet candidates. And it's basically, we did a speedy vetting process just to get him out there because we liked him aesthetically. Exactly, dude. That's exactly what they said. And it's fucking, it blew up in your fucking face and hurt the whole movement. So fucking get your shit together. Well,
Luhman's going to take a victory lap because he was right about I remember specifically that he had issues with Platner from the get-go.
Yeah, and I'm ready.
So, yeah, so Luhman's going to have score some credibility points here, but I'm sure he's not going to be an asshole about it. And I was, to be precise, I always have my reservations because of the military background. I was always like, well, again, back to what I was saying earlier, like you say you've done this work in therapy, what are the results of that work? Whereas where you say you've grown, well, how? Right? You have to talk about yourself at some point in campaigns and how your leadership is going to be better than others. And like I said, if he were innocent, this would really, and this is just, he knows for sure that he didn't do this, then he would be saying a lot. He would be handling himself a lot differently.
Yeah.
But this is it, man. This is hopefully this is the last time we have to do this for a progressive for a while. Because like you said, he was saying the right things.
Yeah. But you know what? Let's leave Platner in the past. Again, we're waiting to see if he speaks and drops out. But let's move on to someone better, someone much better, someone with no controversies, and who just had a debate last night. That is Abdul El Sayed in Michigan. And this is a clip of him talking about ICE. I got a whole bunch of clips from this debate. Haley Stevens looks like she's floundering. It is a battle for the soul of the Democratic Party. And the way that establishment is trying to connect Abdul and Platner is going to fall apart. And it's not going to work, I don't think. But here we go.
ICE is not about immigration. ICE is not about the southern border. I was on nearly the northern border. ICE is about normalizing paramilitary force on our streets. I've been clear that you can't reform ICE. You can't retrain ICE. You have to abolish ICE. Now, that's not to say that we can't secure our border. That's not even to say that we can't actually enforce our immigration policy. That is to say that we shouldn't do it at the edge of destroying our Constitution itself. ICE is a new agency. It is younger than I am. We have done this in the past in a way that respects the basic rule of law. And if we're serious about actually having a pathway in this country to a humane, thoughtful, common sense immigration system, we've got to invest in the court infrastructure that offers a pathway to citizenship for people who built a life here, lived here peaceably, and contributed to our society. I think that's the responsibility we need to go to while keeping our southern border safe and secure. I mean, my colleague voted to thank ICE.
Yeah, I mean, so again, just doing a stellar debate performance. I should also point out that the third candidate in this race, Mallory McMorrow, dropped out the other day. So
really?
Did
she endorse anyone?
No, not yet. Abdul put out a reply. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. He replied to her on the day of, saying, "Hey, Mallory supporters," because apparently he and Mallory had a kind of a friendlier relationship at the beginning of the race. And so he put out a like, "Hey, come over here. Like, we're welcoming you to the party if you'd like to join." And I think that was a pretty good way. And he did it right away, whereas it took Stevens about a day or two to reach out to McMorrow supporters. I can't find it. There's too many.
It's okay.
So we got some more clips from the debate. This is. I mean, just Stevens is not even really putting up a fight. This reminds me of, honestly, of Janet Mills a little bit. Like, I don't even know if she really wants to run. It feels like she was tapped, and it's like, I guess I got to do this just to maintain the corporate power that we're all getting paid by.
Impact childcare and make it more affordable for families.
30 seconds.
Look, if you want somebody who's electable, the last 3 polls in a row show that I'm the most electable Democrat in November. Why?
Yeah.
Because you got to actually fight for something. It's not enough to offer people 2 options that kind of look the same on the issues that matter the most. If you're taking money from corporations, the same corporations, Democrat or Republican, how different are things really going to be? I'm offering an opportunity to actually invest in what we want to fight
She does sound like Bobby.
for healthcare that is guaranteed, for an economy that works for working people, for finally getting corporate money out of our politics.
Well, with all due respect to Abdul, I think
You got to fight for something other than just fight against Trump. Because what's the difference? What's the difference if the tie is blue or red if I still can't afford gas? You know?
Yeah, I think that's a good message for normies. I mean, whatever gets them to your fucking internet page, and then the rest should take care of itself from there. I mean, I'm of the opinion that there's just no excuse anymore for not having a website that when people Google you, that just explains not just through text, but through video or some other kind of easy to consume way, explains the positions of the candidate. And he's giving the debate answers, but he really wants to talk about that stuff for another 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, this was a good hit when she kept bringing up his tax returns, which he said they're in the FCC, the FEC filings, you can look them up. But she's like, why won't you hand them over to me directly? And then he's pointing out you are taking APAC money, you are funding.
Because I have no respect for you. Because I have no respect for you is what he should say.
Right.
On TV by organizations like the Center for Democratic Priorities, which, by the way, didn't exist until it started to run ads for my opponent, like the United Democratic Progressives, which, by the way, is a front for APAC, like Center Forward, which bought airline tickets for my opponent, for her mother and herself to go to Portugal. I don't know what they talked about. I don't know what they did. So if we want to talk about lies, I think it's really important for us to understand who's paying for them and what was said on the back end to allow them to be told. Because $40 million doesn't come for free. Hold on TV.
I mean, that's a pretty good one. $40 million doesn't come for free. And then the closing statement I thought was pretty satisfying here.
Know what my life would have been without the opportunity to be born here. I saw that firsthand in summers in Egypt. I know what America can do for somebody. I also knew that 15 miles away, there were kids who never got that same opportunity. We have to build an America that can be what it was for me, for all of her kids. And that means we've got to take on the ways that corporate greed have gotten in the way. We need to stand with working people, stand with humans. We need to take on oligopolies and billionaires. We need to guarantee healthcare through Medicare for all. Across my time touring the state, town hall after town hall, you could be in a church in Detroit, you could be in a living room in Lansing, VFW Hall in Escanaba. People say the same things. It just shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to afford your groceries. Shouldn't be this hard to pay your rent. Shouldn't be this hard to see a doctor in the richest, most powerful country in the world. And it works for me.
So, I think
he's a pro.
He's a fucking pro, man.
He's a pro.
He's doing good. I saw someone joke on Twitter the other day, DSA should just be running Muslims, just only Muslims, because they're the ones who seem to be fucking winning these races. No more white guys. And I think he's doing a fantastic job. I love it. His association with Hassan Piker, which seems to be Haley Stevens' main criticism and attack line against him.
It's weak. It's weak.
It's fucking weak. And I think the great and powerful, amazing, beautiful, wonderful Summer Lee kind of exemplifies how this should be. You would love this. You'd love this this flip. How this question should be answered from going forward.
You disavow your friend Hassan Piker for inciting riots outside Delaney Hall last weekend?
Oh, well, actually, I think that Delaney Hall is a disgrace. Will you disavow your friend Laura Loomer, who calls black women ghetto black bitches?
She doesn't mean that.
How does one not
And she's
mean
my
that?
friend, but we're talking about Hassan Piker.
No, I'm talking about Laura Loomer.
Can we talk about
calls
Hassan?
Black women ghetto black bitches. And you agree with that? Did you disavow that?
I mean,
Because That's racism.
Pretty much
to work with
joking,
someone like that?
but
Oh, that's not a joke.
no, but you can.
Okay, so here you go. So, not to, I mean, so like you're half black, half white, so you have a lot more credibility here. But I'm just telling you, as like far as white people goes, that like Summer Lee, man, she blows Jasmine Crockett out of the water.
Amazing.
Like she's so much better.
Amazing.
Like I mean, I know, like when I hear black women or people say that black women don't get enough chances, it's like, well, they've also had the bad luck of having Kamala Harris and who was the one from Georgia?
Stacey Abrams.
But Stacey Abrams, and then meanwhile Nina Turner gets sidelined, and who else was it? The one from Missouri.
Cori Bush was running again.
Cori Bush, right?
For DSA.
Right, Cori Bush is like, and but then Jasmine Crockett, probably just because she's in Texas, gets a lot of the press, and it's like these other black women are incredibly impressive.
Yeah,
they're better.
And she also gets a lot of the
like,
press because she's not anti-war. She's pro-war. She's just pro.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
she was definitely a tool for the establishment.
Let's not forget Psaki bombs. Remember Psaki bombs? Remember when Psaki was the press secretary for Biden and she would dunk on like conservative reporters, and that's all that they gave a fuck about in Resist Land, Resist Sphere, Resist Liberal Twitter, and fucking MSNBC and CNN. That's why she has a show on fucking MSNBC. She was auditioning for it at that fucking podium as press secretary. That's all that matters to them. And we're at the point now where that's not enough for people. It's not enough even for the brunch liberals who wanted that to be enough. They can't afford gas either. They can't afford brunch.
I mean, I think that's the gas prices and the affordability, obviously, like just making ends meet. That is what gets people to pay attention. But you got to keep them looking, and you got to be like, this is the end result of 45 years of bad decision making by our federal government, by both parties. And then you get in with the people who like say both parties suck. It's like, yeah, but we still got to make a government work out of them, okay? Yeah. Like, stop being a little bitch. Like, that's a bitch out. When you say, oh, both parties suck, I'm not political. Fuck you, pussy. Right. Get involved. Have an opinion.
Get out of the way.
I almost respect MAGA trash more than the bystander at this point, because I don't know how you can be a bystander in this country right now.
And I think, you know what, that's a good point. The affordability is a part of it, but I think also is the blatant corruption being flaunted in their face. Like
Trump
coin, them just like having these lavish...
The pardons getting bought for like $2 million apiece or something like that.
Yeah, pardons, the ballroom. Ballroom's dumb to us because it's like material change. Who gives a fuck about the structure of the White House? But it really is a visual representation, the reflecting pool, and that being, first of all, it literally looking like a swamp after what was done to it. And the reason it was done was so that Trump could give one of his friends some money. I'll contract out your company to restore the pool so that you can make a bunch of money, taxpayer money, literally fleecing. Like, there's never been a clearer picture of rich fat cats sucking money out of everybody else around them than this time in America, since probably the Gilded Age and the Great Depression age. And first of all, yes, welcome in Left Eye UK. Always appreciate the raids. But, as exemplified by stories like this of a building here in Manhattan that is like leaning building. Cops are like cordoning off the area. This construction guy was interviewed and explains why.
We're steam fitters, local 638. We're doing the fire protection in this building. And what happened here was this building was renovated, and they were going to add another 16 stories to it. But at that point, you need to add more steel. And they obviously didn't add the right amount of steel. So the north side of that building is crumbling. The I-beams are bending like cigarettes in there, which is super dangerous. So I'm assuming they're going to evacuate everyone on the north side of 43rd Street. So we're union steam fitters. The union iron workers went after this job. They lost it pretty much off profit is what they're looking to do. Contractor that's over here. So for New York City, we build it right. We build it the first time. And they chose profit over safety and put my members and every construction worker over here in jeopardy.
Cliff, can you walk us through what's it going to take to get this back up to code, get this back safe?
You're going to have engineers in here.
Knock it down.
Making sure that everything is supported. And I don't know what's going to happen with the other side of the building. Time will tell. How much did it sink? How much more is it going to sink? That's the question.
So you had members.
I mean, like, is this not just a perfect? It's decades and decades, like you've been saying, of fleecing the American people, making the argument it's too complicated, and all these disparate issues are disparate issues that are unrelated. Racism and building codes and voting rights and women's rights, and now just because of, again, the phones, the social media, the reality TVification of everything, the fact that we're random fucking people talking into microphones on the goddamn internet, and people care about what we have to say, just like they care about Rogan because it's a fucking comedian talking to the internet. Just because someone's talking to, we can actually simplify and go capitalism. It's capitalism. It's fucking greed. It's greedy people trying to fucking make money over the safety of people because they don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about the people they're hiring to put in the buildings or they're selling apartments to or whatever it is. The apartment building in Florida that just like collapsed.
Yeah.
Like it's rotting. The foundations of our fuck democracy, reality are crumbling. The world's been run by a cabal of fucking pedophile sex traffickers for the last 40, 50 years. It's still up and running. It's just missing a valuable piece in Jeffrey Epstein. And they're running the world continuously now. We gotta fucking do something. And, you know, as much as there's fucking Luigi's and the guy burning down a warehouse in California and whatever, fucking random acts that people are doing because they're just so like fed up and frustrated. There's also going to be organizing, and it's happening with DSA. It's happening across the country, and I think hopefully we're seeing the end, the death throes of fascism and capitalism. It's all wrapped together and trying to survive as they're like kids trying to grab all they can before time runs out, and we kick them out, and the guillotines are sharpened, and we're ready. Like it's.
Well, that's my question: is do you think there will be retribution? Because I'm not convinced there will be.
I'm not convinced.
Or I'm not even. I'm not. I don't hear anybody calling for it right now. Really.
I mean, I hear some progressive candidates calling for it, like there has to be accountability. Like you just saw Abdul saying, like, we need to abolish ICE and prosecute the people who are responsible. Yeah. Do I think there will be sacrificial lambs offered up? Of course. It's going to be Bernie Madoff all over again. There's going to be a bunch of Bernie Madoff. Maybe, I don't even know if you get Trump in prison or, like, you know, anyone in the Trump family in prison, which they should be. But maybe you get Stephen Miller or you get Peter Thiel. I don't, Elon Musk maybe. I don't know. But heads have to roll and be locked up or else, again, there'll be just random people kind of doing that anyway. And they might actually be safer in prison, if you want to be honest about it. So let's bring in, because those are pretty good segments, I think. Let's bring in Lumen, who has shown up and I believe is ready. I think he's ready. What's going on, bud?
One moment, I'm just checking my Robinhood account that I didn't know I still had. I have $1.15 in some kind of weird cryptocurrency. And,
I think I sold everything I had in that.
The AMC pump, yeah, I was on that too.
Yeah.
It was dope. It bought me a new washer dryer.
Nice. I lost $2,000.
Oh, you got in at the top, big dummy.
GameStop. Yep.
Come on, dog. No, I was.
It was
purely
only
XC.
after I bought when I was like, if it hit Twitter, then it's probably over.
Yeah.
I was in that Reddit, the Wall Street Bets Reddit, like, I believe all the conspiracies. I could see how people fall down to Alex Jones shit.
I still lost. I didn't lose money. I put my Biden bucks in there, and I got up to like 10 grand at one point, and then it went down to 6. And I was like, gotta get out, gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that.
I don't
$1,000
understand how
Biden
people
bucks.
gamble. I
No,
really
it's.
don't.
I mean, I can tell you all about it. It's disgusting. The worst days in a gambler. The worst day in a gambler's life is his first big win. I'm telling you right now. I goofed around in my 20s and I won a poker tournament, and I can tell you that was the worst day of my life. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
Like I had to pull myself back. It was like a decade long, like, just push, just trying to become a professional poker player. And I realized I was good enough to know I wasn't good, but it could have got real dark. Like, there was a time where, like, I used to just go to work to play poker. Like, I was playing poker 12 hours a day. Yeah, it was
okay.
It was a goof, dude. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I was still paying bills. Like, it wasn't that crazy, but it got to it. Yeah, to the point where it was just like everything I did revolved around poker, and I was like, this has got to stop. Yeah.
But that's what you have to do in order to be good at it. Like, in order to get to a professional level, you have to go through that grind. I know some guys who tried. The smart ones made enough money to pay for school and then pay off their school debt, and then they, got real jobs. Like, this one guy I know did real well doing that. But yeah, no, I agree with you. The first big win is the worst in a gambler's life, because it just gives you this false sense of security, like you're going to keep winning and like you're going to be profitable and you're going to outlive the odds. And it feels, the word that no one uses to talk about gamblers is narcissism. And it's like, I'm so special. It's that bullshit in your head thinking, oh, wait, I'm going to put $500 down on black 3 times in a row and it's going to hit every single time. Like those kinds of things. Or, I mean, the most obvious are like sports bets, like thinking that better than the lines makers what is going to happen in a game, or what statistically is most likely to happen. I mean, it's just not. I knew someone that did an algorithm for that strategy, the fantasy, the fantasy, FanDuel, stuff like that, and he did real well. But then they figured him out too.
Yeah,
he had like a season. He had like a season that he made like $100,000, and then they cut him off. They're like, no.
That's how it works. Yeah. That's exactly how it works. They don't want winners. I mean, for me, for me, it's weird because you don't know what'll hit that thing in your brain. And you talk about the narcissism, and because you can make all these excuses about like, oh, I'm doing this so I can like not have a 9-to-5. I'm doing this so I can like better my life, better my family's life, like whatever. But at the end of the day, like I remember just thinking, man, like I'm doing this for the dopamine.
Yeah,
it's purely the dopamine.
The thrill.
All these other reasons are just cope. And the reason why like poker got to me, man, this is a weird thing that I think we go on about. But like the reason why poker got to me instead of other types of gambling is because it's a skill game. So it's like slots, blackjack, any kind of casino game doesn't hit the same thing for me, because I'm like, oh, this is nonsense. Like, I'm burning money. Like, I cannot win here.
Right.
You're going up against somebody. You're going up against somebody, so you're like, I'm definitely smarter than that guy.
Yeah.
I got outplayed. I can get better. I haven't read the right book. I haven't taken the right course. I haven't grinded enough hands. Like, so there's this thing of like, I can get better at it to where I can't get better at slots. So it doesn't have the same. So that's the addiction for me, is like I can progress. And I've noticed that with like other things in my life and like that are positive. If I have an addictive mindset, if I could just be like, okay, if I can get into a habit, then like the habit will take over. As long as that like I'm trying to build, like right now I'm doing like out of the blue. I've had ideas in my head I've wanted to get out. I'm building like a self-help. This goes into like, I kind of want to talk about Graham Platner, but this goes into like a self-help, like stoicism, get your life in order app. And I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to the progress. And it's the same kind of things that, like, if you don't master that, it'll lead you down to like a dark road. It's just like, how does my brain work? What can I get addicted to that's actually going to help my life and like not leave it destitute? That's what works for me.
You found do you want to plug that app or not? Say?
Not yet, because it's not even in alpha. I'm probably gonna I've got it on the App Store, but nobody can get to it because I'm working through it myself. And then once that happens, I'll probably I'll plug it. I'm already talking to some of my like Twitch streamer friends who have a couple, because all I need is like 100 people just to poke holes in it. Just to find out where the weaknesses are so I can hot fix it. But once that gets going, it's like, this is kind of my like life's ambition.
Sounds amazing.
No, because I just want, I'll put this into politics, and then this goes into like Graham Platner and how Graham Platner became the face of like the masculine left, even though he never claimed to be a leftist, a socialist, anything like that. But he was pushed so hard because we've lost a whole generation of men to the right wing, because the left, either for good reason, the left is, and I want to say this as the left, I want to divide, like, we'll get into it, like my whole idea on it, but like, I like women, queer folk, whatever. Yeah, if a woman tells me she hates all men, I don't feel any type of way about it. What I'm saying is this is our fault. If you're a cis straight man, and you're on the left, this is our problem, that we have let the right wing hijack stoicism, masculinity, aggression, just pure aggression, and putting that into a positive direction. We've let them hijack that, and it pushes young men into the arms of a Graham Platner, a Joe Rogan, a Andrew Tate, a Cavicular, whoever. And this is our fault that this happened at all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you say if there's a whole generation, so you're talking about a span of like a 20-year process in which this category of voter was kind of lost.
Yeah.
Right? So you're thinking, who was in charge during those 20 years?
Pelosi, Chuck Schumer.
Yeah. But I mean, not
like,
just...
I was just my only point is, like, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you make a really good point. But just just wrap it up with some specificity, because that shit's valid. But it lands and it sticks if you put some specificity on it, because it's really fucking insightful, and I can hear it, but you are at least at the start of what you said, you come up against that fucking annoying anti-straight white man insecurity, and you know that. But I don't think that was a problem for you at all. But I would just make sure we acknowledge who was in charge over these last 45 years, because that's really my message now. Is like, hey, you know, resentment's a natural thing. You know, frustration with life is a natural thing. Unfairness, anger, all these things are natural, right? We're coping. We're kind of growing up as a country, coping with these negative emotions. And all I ask is that people, you know, not preaching to you, but just more to the audience, is just do your homework since 1980. If you know everything that happened since 1980 really well, you can empathize with the people who hate politics in general, and then kind of maybe have conversations with them and get them involved, and also make, you know, things like the DSA more culturally accessible, because that's what Alex and I have been agreed upon, is like the DSA is now kind of positioned very well to assert itself as, like, you know, I hate the term kingmaker, but kind of a gatekeeper in a good way. You know, like if you earn that DSA endorsement, you really got to earn it. They're willing to recommend candidates a lot. That's not hard, but getting that full endorsement from the DSA is actually, as a member of the DSA, is very hard. Mm-hmm.
Michelin star.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as the vetting. But no, and please, no, I want you to preach at me. Like, I'm very confident in this is my whole thing. This is exactly what I kind of wanted to talk about. And it's like three guys sitting here talking about this stuff, and I feel like it's very important. I want you to push back if you feel I'm incorrect, or I've missed something, or I have a blind sight. I'm not a perfect guy. Like, I'm a shitty dude. My wife, you know, she used to, and I'm trying to get a lot better at it. She'll disagree with me on stuff, and I'll be like, And instead of arguing with her, I'll be like, I didn't see it that way, and I'm glad that you told me, so now I can see it in a different perspective.
Right.
Because there's no light without heat, and I feel like the hashtag left for very good reason. Again, if I'm not talking to women, I'm not talking to to femme presenting people, I'm not talking to queer people who feel ostracized. I'm talking to like whatever hashtag, whatever masculine men. I would consider myself a dude bro. And if we don't like hash this stuff out because we're afraid to hash it out, then this is how this kind of Graham Platner shit just keeps happening. It's gonna happen again.
Have you watched the FD video?
Again. Yeah, I did.
Videos? Yeah,
I did. And I'm very like, so I'm torn. I was just talking to my wife about this. I'm torn on Platner in two different ways. But not in a way that I think a lot of people are addressing. And because I'm sure I haven't watched this space today, I'm sure all on this network, it's just been like Graham Platner's discussing, Graham Platner is an alleged rapist, blah, 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 which I don't see even that right there. That blah, blah, blah. I don't want to see like I'm minimizing anything.
Right.
I like this thing is super, super important. I just don't want to rehash what's already been said.
I know. We have been.
Right. But I think the thing that's getting missed is that, so on one side, I've been watching, and I queued it up. I don't know if you guys have seen it or you want to spend time with it, but it's Ryan Grimm on Breaking Points today, who like, I love me some Ryan Grimm, but he absolutely pissed me off because he's sitting here talking about how, if Platner's going to drop out, how his team isn't being included in the, in the pick of his successor, of the person who's going to run for Senate in Maine. And it's ridiculous. It's a coup. And maybe they're doing this so they can get like a corporate Democrat in there who's going to be friendly to AIPAC or whatever. But I'm like, okay, bro, like, but that could all be true. But if you want to blame somebody for that, you blame Graham Platner.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you blame, like I was watching again into dude bro stuff. I was watching the Egypt-Argentina game yesterday, the World Cup.
Yeah, great game.
The Egyptian coach is like, this game was rigged, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, maybe it was, but the referees didn't let 3 goals in 10 minutes. Your team did that. Your team let that happen. It was a complete collapse. So that in most generous, if I'm going to be running, if Robert Johnson, Lumen, was next up in line to run for, like, hey, we think this guy should run for the Senate, to be Democratic Senator of Maine. And the Graham Platner team reached out to me and said, I'd be like, I'm not answering their calls. Like, I don't want to be associated with this. Does anybody think I don't want the Graham Platner endorsement? Maybe that's why nobody's picking up. And probably, maybe that's not the case. But the whole reason we even have to wonder that is because of what Graham Platner did when he gaslit and he scammed his constituents. I feel, obviously, and this is my 2-track thing, to like what's morally correct and what's like how to win an election from somebody who doesn't even believe in electoral politics. But it's like, these women who have been allegedly sexually assaulted by this man are at number 1 top priority. The second priority I feel terrible about is the voters and the people, anybody who's ever knocked a door, made a phone call, or gave up $1 for this guy who he completely gaslit, who all he wanted to do was win at any cost. He wasn't thinking about what's right for Maine. And and the thing is, they're like, well, we don't want to, and I'm sitting here watching dude on Breaking Points, Ryan Grimm, and he's like, yeah, they want to get a terrible shit lib in there. But I'm like, okay, but here's the thing with Graham Platner. If Graham Platner is going to gaslight me about what's that?
Do you have a time code for the video? Is it the Platner assault story?
No, it's here. We can cue it up, and then I'll just get this last part, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's like that. Maybe they are trying to get a shit lib in there. But if Graham Platner's going to gaslight me about a Nazi tattoo and gaslight me about sexual assault, how can I believe any of his bona fides that he's going to get money out of politics, do push for Medicare for all, and stop funding Israel? I can't. It's we Kamala Harris. We held it to the same standard. If you can't if I can't trust you to say that, it's a genocide in Palestine, then I can't trust you to fill my potholes. All these things are connected. But yeah, let me boot it up real quick. Let me see if can I do it?
Yeah, you can hit present.
All right, yeah, share screen, entire
Make
screen.
sure the audio's on there.
Yeah, you're right, because I always forget to click that. You're a lifesaver. Where is? Oh, here it is. Add to stage. Yeah, we'll watch a little bit of this.
Oh no, that's mine. My bad. Here, throw that. I'm gonna throw out the doors.
I got you. Hold on.
Murphy Anderson last night posted a video urging that he do so and telling him and his campaign that he will have no say in who is chosen to replace him or how a candidate will be picked. Let's roll a little bit of Murphy Anderson.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to provide you all an update on the U.S. Senate race here in Maine. As you know, the Maine Democratic Party has been working around the clock to develop a process to replace our U.S. Senate nominee that is open, inclusive, transparent, and fair. The integrity of this process is just as important as the outcome. And we are committed to ensuring that Democrats across our state can have confidence in both. Unfortunately, Graham Platner's team has repeatedly reached out to us in an attempt to put their thumb on the scale of what this process looks like. We have repeatedly reiterated to Graham Platner's team that they have no role in determining our next Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate, nor in determining what this process looks like. We have also reiterated that Graham Platner must drop out of this race so that Democrats in Maine can focus on defeating Susan Collins this November. We look forward to making this process public as soon as Graham Platner formally withdraws from this race.
And so the Platner campaign responded to this, and we can add this in post. Campaign official told Sahil Kapoor, quote, "The Platner campaign has reached out to the party to try and understand what this process would look like. At no point has the campaign tried to, quote, put its finger on the scale. Over 150,000 Mainers voted for this movement, and over 15,000 Mainers volunteered their time and energy to it. While Graham wouldn't want to be a part of the process, he would want to make sure the voters and volunteers make this decision, not the political establishment," unquote.
I mean, what say does he have at this point?
This is a coup.
Go ahead.
What say does he have at this point? What the
Exactly.
Fuck say does he have? What the fuck say does he have at this point? Shut your mouth and go home.
Hear Sagar and Jetty's and Ryan Grimm's reasoning here, and then we'll discuss it.
All right.
That from the executive director to say we're not even going to answer their phone calls. They did win the nomination.
He won more votes. Look, can I just say, I'm not some Platner fanboy. Okay? I literally said...
Can vouch. God does not like Platner.
It's not that I hate Platner. I've always thought he's like a Brooklyn cosplaying leftist. There's some sort of working Platner. I think his background bears all of that out, okay? And so I'll save that I told you so for later. But to me, this is a principle matter. Like, this man won more votes in the Democratic primary than anyone in Maine history. And the Maine Democratic Party, who is that lady, by the way? I don't remember anybody voting for her across the state.
So
right?
She run for anything.
Did she run for anything? Maybe. Look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she got voted. Like, I'm not familiar
Maybe
exactly
with
the bylaws of the Maine Democratic Party. I know that one person got more votes than anyone in the history of the Maine Democratic Party. And to say that he should have no say whatsoever in how the next person, if he were to step down to replace him, is totally insane. Insane. Because his volunteers, his people, his campaign are ultimately the ones who beat a sitting governor for in the Democratic nomination. Forced her out of the race. They beat the DSCC, and then to say that he's going to step down, which he doesn't have to do, that he should have no say in the process, it is as anti-democratic as it possibly could be. Because, Ryan, you and I both know they're going to try various different ways to make this seem open, super delegates or televised debates. Like, nothing beats voting, and they can't vote again. So it is, by definition, going to be an anti-democratic process.
They could do at least a caucus level situation. And what Platner seems to be saying here is, I'm not trying to force you to take who I want you to take. Now, if an establishment candidate was getting pushed out of the race, by the way, they would appoint an establishment replacement. There would be no controversy about it, no question about it. It would be done in 12 hours. But an establishment candidate is not getting pushed out of the race. Platner is. Platner is not even saying he is insisting on like Troy Jackson or Shanna Bellows. What he is saying is that he wants to make sure that there is an inclusive process, that as many Democrats who participated in the primary process are able to participate in. And that could be a convention in Portland that has mini conventions in every county where there's a Democratic, like this is easily something that can be put together.
Yeah.
And so he's just asking, and this is within the power of the main Democratic Party to put together. It would be a kind of a shotgun thing. Probably be hard to pull off an entire primary where you count every single vote. But you could do a caucus type situation. They could figure something out. And Platner's campaign is saying, what are you thinking? Because to your point, they don't want this to go into Janet Mills' office.
Yeah.
Or her office.
Because it's
and they just come out, smoke signal.
Yeah, the voters rejected her.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. So in a vacuum, that logic works completely. But in reality, why do let's say pretend that either one of us, I'm that guy. Why do I want my campaign anywhere near Graham, within 100 main miles of Graham Platner? Having him know that he even communicated with my people would be a death sentence. So, and then if you're so uptight about this, be uptight about the person who put you in this position. Again, going back to the Egyptian collapse analogy, let's just say 100%. We have 100% proofs that the refs were in the bag for Argentina. Okay, but but if I'm kicking the ball into my own net, they had nothing to do with that. And that's what this is. You ran for Senate knowing you gaslighted me. I'm not even in Maine, but you gaslighted me and everybody else. Well, I'm also a Marine Corps vet, that you didn't know what that tattoo was. And I was okay with that because I was like, this whole idea of we got to get out of our minds of just like, if you're in the military in the United States, you're some kind of noble warrior. No, it's a frat. It's a frat when you're 19, 18 years old, and you might get to kill somebody for the state legally. Right. That's what it is. Let's not pretend. The same kids that are at 19 or in the Marine Corps, the same kids that are on the street in front of 7-Eleven. But they might end
up like you and go like, I was fucking wrong. I want to dismantle all that.
Sure. But my point is, people get dumb tattoos every day. So I'm not saying that the tattoo thing is obviously it's not has any kind of weight next to the sexual assault allegations. What I'm saying is that because he gaslit everybody when that came out, that he knew exactly what that was and got it, it makes those, it's like, oh, if he's lying about this, which is a nothing burger, then of course he did this.
Yes.
Of course he's lying about this.
Well, he thought he was going to get away with it, dude. He thought he was
just a narcissist.
Yes, it is that simple. He thought he was going to get away with it. He thought he was above the rules. And, he just thought he believed his own press, man. They gave him, they for whatever reason, there was a surge of energy. Probably, we were talking earlier before you were on, that I think the contextual variable was the prospect of getting Susan Collins put out of pasture by a good-looking, well-spoken, working-class guy.
Yeah.
And that prospect became really valuable, almost like expecting America to beat Belgium, and then choking. And to use your sports analogy, but I mean, my response to that is the point that he's making might be valid. It might be a valid point, but at this point, dude, what leverage do you have? What credibility do you think people want to hear from you? You fucking blew it. You blew it. You failed. You lost. Go home. Lick your wounds. Go on some sort of redemption tour. Write a book. I don't give a fuck. But your career in national politics is fucking over.
Yeah.
Right.
It's over.
I think, and I want to push back. It's not even a pushback. I just want to make a correction. Just like the verbiage of you blew it. He didn't blow it. He knew this going in. So either he lied to the team that vetted him,
right,
or his team already knew, which means I can't trust them either.
Or they're
do
a good job of vetting. Exactly. Yeah.
Either they're evil or stupid. I don't know which one, and it doesn't matter.
he probably didn't think it was rape. He was just drunk, and like it was a drunk hookup with a chick that he was hooking up with at the time, and he doesn't even remember like forcing himself on her or anything like that. But obviously, like, you know, she had a very different feeling about it, and she's taking a risk by going public, and that's ultimately what people respect. Is that it's like, okay, what's the upside to this woman going public? Like, she's gonna, you know, she's taking a risk by doing so. Yeah, I just, you know, she could have saved us all a lot of trouble if she'd gone earlier. But hey, you know, it's a pretty personal thing. So
no, I don't even want to swim. I don't even want to swim in those waters because even in the reporting, what I read was that, you know, she's like, yeah, I'm conflicted because the politics are good. It's not on her. It's not on her. It's not on her. It's not on anyone. It's on him and his team.
It's the clip I played earlier of Hassan talking about, like, think about her calculation of, do I want, like, I would rather vote for my rapist just to get Susan Collins out.
Right.
Because she's protecting Epstein pedophile rapist. Which level of, like, I mean, this is the calculation that we all made in fucking 2020.
Exactly.
Biden or Trump. They're both fucking rapists. They're both fucking, but which one's worse? Like,
going back to what FD Signifier,
crazy.
I watched the FD Signifier video. He's like, look, if you're gonna vote for him, go ahead, but don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. And it's like, yeah, if I lived in Maine and he stayed
his initial
in,
video was like,
I wouldn't tell anybody. I would just go to the box and I would Graham Platner, and I feel fucking sick about it.
FD's overall position, the last whenever he's talked about it, is not so much about him as a candidate, and, you know, electoralism is dirty and filthy. It's what the levers are right in front of us. His argument was, why is he on all these shows?
Right.
Why is he being elevated as like the voice of the left, the voice that could bring masculine people, and not Chris Rabb or Charles Booker or someone of color, and someone who doesn't have these fucking controversies.
Well,
what
if
is
you
it?
remember,
And basically, it's a media critique of going, hey, Majority Report, hey, Kyle Klinsky, fucking look inwards a little bit and go, like, why weren't you having or showing as many clips of Chris Rabb as possible, or any of these other people? And then Chris Rabb, also interviewed by Breaking Points by Crystal, going like, I don't know. Like, you know, people in Maine are going to make that decision. I'm not going to talk about that race. Like, he's like, and he was right. AOC also didn't endorse.
Smart.
In this clip, Ryan Grimm's getting a lot of heat for kind of talking about this, and also saying, like, there was also more context to something that Politico didn't report. I don't know. But the idea, look, I think you're right. Any Democratic organization should not want to hear from this guy. You too, Deter, like, get the fuck out. You fucked up. You lied, and get out of here. It's the, like, you know, the volunteer Discord, the group chats, like the apparatus of the campaign, all the people who were like, I want to fight for these ideals. Because Emma Vigeland, you know, I was watching her interview on Slate, is going like, these ideals are the thing that won him 50 points above Janet Mills. Was it his charisma and the way he articulated these ideas? Sure, maybe, but not entirely. It's the ideals, period. It's the policies, period. These are the policies that are winning in Colorado, that are about to, you know, fingers crossed, knock wood, win Abdul El Sayed in Michigan, win all the people who won in New York, the people who weren't even endorsed necessarily by DSA, like Brad Lander. I mean, I talked about it when it happened. You guys weren't here, Deter, but Lindsey Boylan, who I campaigned for city council, the special election was in April. She lost the special election. So she decided she wasn't going to keep campaigning for the primary. I went to vote for the primary and didn't realize her name was still on the ballot. So I was like, oh shit, great. I'm going to fucking fill it in. The election results come back. She hadn't campaigned for 3 months. She got closer. Her margin of loss got less over time without campaigning. I interviewed last week Danielle Welch in this very time slot. who ran against Tom Suozzi, who's one of the Democrats who signed the promise to America that we will never move our centrist positions and we will not change the status quo. She ran the week of when petitioning started to get her name on the ballot. She had no one around her. Hell, this is the
How much longer?
This is the video I made with her.
5 minutes.
The interview, the cover I put on was hang on.
Hey, I'm gonna wrap. I'm gonna take this opportunity to bounce. I'm gonna bounce.
All right, man.
So it's good to see you, Lemon.
Yeah, good.
But
Good time, bro.
always a pleasure. Never forget, you don't get change in America by asking nicely. Take care, guys.
Absolutely.
Take care. So the video I have of her is this thumbnail that I made, because she said, I literally looked around in my district. I went to the meetings. I was looking around for a candidate. Who do I support other than Tom Suozzi? I guess I'll do it myself. She said, fine, I'll run myself. And with no name recognition, got 20% of the vote. Now, 20% versus 80%, not big, but that's a big chunk of an incumbent who's been there for years and years and years. And it's just this massive movement that the Democrats are getting more left. And I hate to put it that way. I hate to even identify us as Democrats. I don't, but we're of the left, and we are pushing this one party of two, the one that can be pushed. We are pushing it fucking left. We're taking it fucking over because we're sick of waiting. Danielle Welch also mentioned that part of the reason she decided to run was the urgency. She has a small child. Like, I don't want to raise a kid knowing there's 1,000-year Reich of techno-fascism with Elon Musk running city-states and with Peter Thiel. Fuck that. Fuck that. We need to fucking stop it and run now and win now. And I think that's what's happening. And, you know, to point to Hassan again, like, we got to talk about this fucking guy who talks into a camera on the internet. The reason his name is like being bandied about now and is talked about on CNN and MSNBC is because the establishment is fucking idiots. And Andrew Cuomo said his name aloud during the debate. And then a couple months later, Effie Phillips Staley, who was running upstate, went on his broadcast, and then a bunch of the DNC chairs from those upstate counties like Westchester and Rochester and shit came together and said, we condemn Hassan Piker, we condemn you for going on his stream, and blah, blah, blah. And it just propelled his name further into the public, and now he is a kingmaker. He, along with DSA. I
wanna go back to keep it about Hassan. And just to go back to what we originally talked about, it's like, why does the Democratic Party push a guy like Platner, and why they don't push a guy like, you know, I mean, obviously this is rhetorical questions, or on Adami or Saeed. It's because they want to win back. You know, they want to win back these white straight men that they lost to the right, but without offering them any material benefits. Right. If you remember, after Harris lost the election, how he had all these fluff pieces talking about, is Hassan Piker the new Joe Rogan? But as soon as he touched that Israel fourth rail, as soon as he touched that, all that went away, and it became, how do we stop Hassan Piker?
It was, we need a Joe Rogan of the left.
The left, yeah.
And then a lot of people were like, well, Hassan's kind of doing that. And they said, well, not like that. Not like that. Not actually left. We need a Hassan. We need a Joe Rogan of the center is
Correct.
What they wanted. Like, that's,
which can never happen. Like,
yeah, because
you can't have somebody who doesn't. I mean, if an evil person, you know, if a right winger who's evil and wants to turn trans people into motor oil by melting down their bone marrow, that's at least somebody who stands for something.
Right.
That's going to be more attractive than somebody who stands for nothing. And that's why they can never have that. They'll never be that guy. There's not going to be a center anyway.
They had a fucking Ezra Klein with the abundance thing, and Gavin Newsom trying to be that. Oh, I can dunk on again the Saki bomb thing. Like, it was dunks on Twitter. It was so fucking elitist, fourth column shit. Like, it's just like, that's all. When I started watching the news in 2012, I was shocked that they put tweets up on the news. It's the news, dude. And the fact that they were like beefing like they're fucking rappers. I'm dissing you for what you said on Fox News earlier, and then Fox News is going to respond to that later in the evening. It was a fucking joke. It's a reality fucking show. And now at this point, again, with the phones and the slurry, dude, look at the trending topics on Twitter. I'll never forget Bo Burnham's. I know I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Bo Burnham, comedian, YouTuber, when he was promoting the movie 8th Grade that he made, he was on a comedy show called The Bonfire, and he said because of social media and how it's designed, you will see in no particular order an ad for a new movie coming out, a new ice cream that your friend tried at a restaurant, the president of the United States threatening another country with war, trailer for a video game coming out, and they all take up the same amount of visual space and therefore importance in your mind. Like even just looking at the trending topics on Twitter right now, I'm looking at like, oh, Rep Summer League clashes with Loomer reporter that we just played. Stevens and El Sayed clash in heated Michigan Senate debate. Dune trailer for Dune Part 3. New footage reveals tour of Epstein's private island. Like World Cup scores. This is as important as each other because it looks that it just takes up the same amount of visual space.
It's the attention economy, yes.
It's the attention economy. And because of that, I think people are fucking burning out, frankly, over the last 15 years of caring so much and everything moving so goddamn fast. There's a lot more detaching, putting your phone down. Let me play a video game. Let me do something slower. Matter of fact, I saw a tweet talking about like children's television and how it changed over time, where like SpongeBob was a lot faster cuts and brighter colors and faster movement, where something like Little Bear or Sesame Street, even Mr. Rogers, was deliberately slow to ease kids into like you can be safe here, you can relax, calm down, take your time, and it promotes learning and again where to put your attention and focus. And something like SpongeBob, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, it's just dopamine.
Stimulation all day
it's
long.
Dopamine. And it really, again, I think the decoupling from the social media, the fact that they're all getting bought by like Elon Musk and the Ellisons and like all this shit too, is also disincentivizing people from using it that much. And it's just what's in front of me. And what's in front of me is eggs cost fucking too much money and gas costs too much money and I'm not getting paid enough. Why does my boss have a new car? Just all the things that we've been ignoring because we've been staring down for 20 fucking years. And now we're looking around going, oh shit, we're run by fucking pedophiles? Like, what the fuck?
Have you heard about the this is exactly what you're talking about, but you heard, not to go on another tangent, but have you heard about the indie web movement? The indie web. So what people are trying to do is, I mean, they're not trying to do, they're succeeding. I actually built a website on there too. What they're trying to do is build an enclave in the internet, not just one centralized thing, but all over the internet. So pretty much it's web 1.0.
Right.
Pre MySpace, even. We're talking GeoCities. We're talking personal blogs. It's just a slower internet. So it's actually a really cool side thing. But
no, I think that's a good transition too, because again, like I have a lot of clips pulled up, but
go for it.
You know, I wanted to talk about the surveillance shit because that's also a big piece of this. People don't like being watched. People are finding these, you know, look, we criticize Anna Kasparian all the time, but I think this is a good clip to play here.
Oh, she's right. She's right.
And she's talking about the flock cameras, which
I'm
didn't
grab something to drink, but I can still hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
The ACLU has brought forth a case against Flock and surfaced multiple issues with the technology. Per the ACLU, Flock tends to also lie to the public about what their technology is capable of doing and what type of government agencies are using their database. For instance, in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Flock had told a city council that they do not create trafficking maps of cars, which was a lie. The city canceled their Flock contract after their lie was discovered. Flock also told Colorado police that the feds do not have access to their database. No feds. That was a lie. Flock has contracts with Homeland Security. Flock straight up lied to a city council in Illinois about their work alongside the ACLU, claiming that they were actually working with the ACLU on their technology. ACLU has never worked with Flock. In fact, they are challenging the company as we speak. There's more. Flock was used by Texas police to track a woman who crossed state lines after having abortion pill complications. So if you happen to live in a state that has effectively banned abortion and you've traveled outside the state in order to obtain the abortion pill, well, they're keeping track of you through Flock's technology.
So yeah, hold on. Let's first of all, I do want to talk about this. However, we do have some breaking news. So, like I said before, we're waiting to see if Platner responds, and it looks like he has. So he put out this video, and I think we should just watch it.
Let's do it.
Because this is, breaking news here. So this is what this space is for. Platner has put out this video. It's 11 minutes. Let's see what he says.
It's Graham Platner here.
Oh my God. Can I fucking turn this up a little bit? Can I find it on YouTube even? It's too quiet on fucking Twitter. Does he have a YouTube?
It just came out.
All right, whatever. Okay, we got the subtitles.
I think as many of you know, over the past couple days, I have faced some very serious allegations, and I just want to make it clear. This is all false. The things that have been claimed did not happen.
This is 18 minutes ago.
It's not real. It has placed an immense amount of weight on me as I think about what needs to happen now. Amy and I are regular people. We were not looking for this experience. We were not looking to get into politics.
This is crazy, dog. If this is why I think it is. But go ahead. This is crazy work. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want you to think about like what you would do as a regular person in a position where a much larger world, large forces, were working against you personally to accuse you of the worst thing that a person could do.
Dude, large forces.
And just let it go.
God.
Before I lose my mind.
Fucking Christ.
And it was not remotely true. I learned about this through press inquiries with no time to truly respond, no time for investigations before a corporate media system and the political establishment got to act as judge, jury, and executioner. Accusations are supposed to be the beginning of things, not the end.
Okay, before I continue with this, honestly, I actually want to pull up this that I just fucking came across too, which is fucking Trump responding to the allegations.
Yeah.
So let's just hear Trump's response and then continue with Graham Platner's saying, just so we color this a little bit.
Democrats. Speaking of Democrats, do you think that the Democrats should be able to pick a replacement for Graham Platner? He's had all these new allegations that have come out. Now Democrats are talking about picking a replacement for him. Should they be able to do that?
They're picking what?
A replacement for Graham Platner if he steps out of the race.
So he won the primary.
And now there's these new allegations.
It's very hard for them to do. And it's really a question of whether or not you believe the woman. A lot of people say big falsehoods. It's he's in a bind. He's in a bind. But should they be able to do it? Well, I guess he's going to lose. I would imagine he's going to lose. It's very interesting when a Republican woman came out with the same charge, nobody believed her. When this woman came out, everybody believed her, right, Doug? Did you get any pictures of it, Doug? You don't want them. They wouldn't sell, Doug. So, any other questions?
Well, fucking crazy. Trump, of course, defending him because, of course, they're going to have solidarity with another rapist. So, again, that just colors Platner's response here, where it's just categorical denial. There are forces working against us. This is a lie. It's the machine coming after me. The accusation should be the beginning, not the end. This is all shit. I played the Anna Kasparian clip earlier. I'm like, well, why didn't the woman call the police when he was in the... All this fucking shit. And again, it's on you that you knew this could happen and you thought, I'll run anyway. It's fine. It's not that big a deal.
I think it's really important to understand why this is happening in the timeline, why this is happening right now. Much like October, when the first attack started, much like the news that was created the week before the primary, there is a reason that this is happening now. I only have until July 13th until I am officially the nominee. This was the last week to try to get me off of the ballot. And that's why this is occurring. It's not the false allegations, though, that have brought us to where we are. It's the fact that they're being used by the political establishment to put structural pressure on us. We live in a political system that is not built for normal people. It is a system that is built structurally to make sure that movements like ours cannot flourish.
Like, it's frustrating because some of what he's saying is like, yeah. Like, dude, also, the allegation could be credible, and also, yes, Jake Tapper is using
well,
it.
Here's what it is, and
Here's
what it is, and I'll give my own thoughts away right now, and
yeah.
just do it. With all this, the only thing that better be at the end of all this is that's why I'm staying in the race, because okay, then I'd be like, all right, fair enough. Like let it play out, because you say they lying, she say you did this, you say everybody lying on you. Okay, let's figure out what it is. But if this gets to the end, and he's like, I'm gotta get out because everybody lying on me. Fuck you, dog. Because that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Nobody would do that. Nobody in their right mind would do that if it wasn't true. So let's hear what he says, because I have a feeling it's going to be the latter, and I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, the text says my name might be on the ballot right now, but that ballot line belongs to the people of Maine. So I think you might be right. I even thought, like, on Monday night when I found out, the first thought was like, the accuser was weighing whether she should come forward because she agrees with the politics. She agrees with the platform. It's about the platform, not the guy. So it's the fucked up landscape that we're in, that one rapist might be better than another rapist because that rapist is a fascist. Like this again, like you were saying earlier, this is a straight fucking men thing. Straight cishet, mask presenting, whatever it is. This is our fucking problem, that rapists can be on the far left, rapists can be on the far right, anywhere in the middle. Does not matter your political ideology. This is rape culture. This is the point. It is everywhere. It doesn't matter what you fucking say. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter what you believe. He could genuinely believe all the political things he's been saying. Or he could be a Fetterman and he was just waiting to get in so he could fucking vote for more military spending, whatever the fuck. Regardless, this is a mostly mask problem of rape culture, right? Yes, there are female rapists. There are but there's a reason that there's a caveat of female rapists. It doesn't happen as often as male rapists. This is fucking. Let's continue.
That if they begin to succeed, they can be crushed. What we have accomplished here, you made possible. The people of Maine, the volunteers, the voters, the grassroots donors, and I have all the faith in the world that we could win if we could continue to harness that. But the brutal political reality is that they are going to take everything away from us. Those in power who have the ability to do so are using these allegations as an excuse to take away all of the things that we need to run a campaign. We are going to lose our ability to fundraise. We are going to lose our ability to access voter data. We are going to lose all of the things that any campaign needs on the basic level simply to function. Larger organizations, the national level party, the bigger donor networks, they have all committed to spending no money in this race if I'm in it. They would rather see Susan Collins win than have me be the next senator from Maine.
Yeah,
what comes next needs to come from the people. Needs to come from the people.
Should I increase the playback speed?
No, you're fine.
All right.
Whatever.
We got time.
Voters who on June 9th, at a strength of over 150,000, the largest number in the history of Maine primaries, said no to this kind of politics. Voted for a politics that would actually represent them. Voted against the political system, against the donor class, against the entrenched forces. And I'm not asking for how this process is going to work. I'm not trying to dictate to anyone who it should be or how we get there, but I will say this. It needs to be open, transparent, and democratic. It needs to be reflecting the will and the values of the people that built this movement, the people that showed up on June 9th. People in DC need to stay in DC. Decisions should not be made in back rooms by people in places of political power. Party apparatchiks are not the ones to make these decisions. These decisions need to be made in the open by the people of this state, the people who got us here. This is exactly the kind of political system that everyone voted against on June 9th. And for that reason, we need to be assured that it is going to be open and democratic as we move forward. Amy and I struggled about getting into this. Last summer, right around this time of year, we sat down and we looked at each other and we said, if we believe in the kind of politics we think that we do, we have to do this. Over the past couple days, really yesterday and today, we have had to have that exact same conversation. We believe that for the movement to continue, it can't be me.
Yeah, you called it.
And for that reason, we are suspending campaign operations. This is incredibly difficult because I know that some will think it's an admission of guilt, and it most certainly is not. We're not doing it because of the allegations. We're doing it because of the structures that are being taken away from us by those in power.
All right. What do you guys say, Lumen?
That's good, bro. I mean, this guy's such a piece of shit, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Because if it wasn't true, then you wouldn't care. You'd be like, look, if I lose, I lose, but I have to clear my name.
Yeah.
At this point, like the campaign is secondary. Like we have to figure out like who put these people up to this to get them to lie like this. Is there any what avenues do I have to sue people for libel? Like you'd be going all because he can't go back. He's okay. So now you're going to be the guy who dropped out, but you totally didn't.
But it wasn't true.
But it wasn't true. Like, come on, bro. Like you'd be doing anything trying to clear your name at this point. This is absolute bullshit. This is bullshit.
Again, the voters of Maine, the people who campaigned, the people who fucking walked around and knocked on doors and drove and went to fucking events and town halls. I don't know what kind of organization you have. Dude, you're gonna lose people. You're gonna have people who are like, I put my faith in this. This is the first time I came out. I'm a first time getting involved person. And fuck this, I was burned and I'm done. And there's gonna be people who are like, okay, we're moving on. We're sticking and moving. Who are we going to next? Troy Jackson, the other candidate. What can we do? And it's just devastating. This is devastating to Maine. This is devastating to the movement up there. But again, it's not about him. He shouldn't have been front loaded anyway.
And like just to say like what Maffoon is saying here, like yeah, you better not end up with some corporate friendly demo. I don't know if you were here earlier, but this man to your right, or that's who you want to blame? Like because he should have never put the voters in Maine in this position. Like this is disgusting. I blame him 100%. Like there's nobody else to blame here. If they come in and the Democratic Party comes in, they steal this election and they put some kind of empty suit in, that is on him. That is, and they end up taking down, Susan Collins or not, whatever, but that's on him. But this guy has been lying from the get-go. His story, he can't make a coherent story up. He's bad at even being ruthless. Like this is him at his most fucking craven, and he can't pull it off with these fake ass tears. I'd be you accuse me of rape. I would have been out here being like, fuck the election. I don't give a fuck if not one person votes for me. That's not what it's about anymore. It's so I can walk around Maine and hold my head high, and so people know I didn't do this shit.
Right.
That's what I don't give a fuck about the mechanisms of who's funding me and who's not funding me. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, this is fucking bullshit. I didn't do it, but I'm gonna drop out anyways. Fuck that. Fuck that. Either admit this should have been 3 minutes, first of all, and whatever, like crying shit. I'll even grant it's genuine. Get it out of your fucking system before you turn on the goddamn camera and make this statement.
Genuine because he got caught. It just cements into me. It just cements into me more. Just like. It's just lie after lie after lie after lie. I'm like, yeah, dog. Every time the more you talk, the more I'm like, yeah, you did this shit. Yeah. But if he would have been like, deny, and I'd been like, yeah, I would have been like, okay, this makes sense. There's huge money, there's huge forces that are in play in our elections. Our elections are not democratic at all. Obviously, the Democratic Party doesn't give a shit about the will of the voter. Blah blah blah. I'd have been like, absolutely, I could. This is a completely plausible story. Now let's see what you're gonna do about it. Yeah. But with this is nonsense. And the idea that they're coming after poor Graham Platner, the guy that the DNC has been hoisted up as the new face of the party, while all the time they're trying to bury Al Said, they try to bury Zoran Mondami, try to bury any kind of DSA candidate that's won in the last couple weeks. But we're going after poor Graham Platner. Graham Platner is the one that's been put upon, that's been pushed in everybody's face for the last 6 months on the fucking not Majority Report, but on the Daily Show and shit. Get out of here, man. This guy, I can't. I have no fucks to give for him. Yeah, not a one.
Fuck this shit again. And this is honestly, like, I hate to make it about this. I don't really want to, but this is what separates the left from the right is we will fucking throw these fucks out rather than like Kevin McCarthy on Fox News the other day being like, well, when we come up with a bad candidate, we walk away. No, and he was talking about Matt Gaetz. You didn't walk away from Matt Gaetz as a candidate. Motherfucker got into Congress. Motherfucker was getting into leadership. That's why you got rid of Matt Gaetz. He was going against you, Kevin. That's why. The fuck out of here. And also, which candidate are you talking about? The one in the White House? You talking about Roy Moore? You talking about Lauren Boebert? You talking about how many other fucking rapist Republicans have we had in the last even just 10 years, let alone going back further? Dude,
I'm telling you too, from a cynical realpolitik position, if I was a voter in Maine, and if he would, because I was waiting for that, I was gonna change my whole stance on him and been like, if he would have said this, as soon as he said this is all lies, and I was like, but I can tell this motherfucker is gonna. But I'm like, if he would have said, and that's why I'm staying in, I would have been like, okay, reserve judgment then, because in a pure cynical way, if I was a Maine voter, at least give me a story. Give me something. Yeah. Give me plausible deniability and even of why I should vote you. I voted for worse.
Right.
Than
yeah,
this.
we have. We
give me plausible deniability. You're giving me nothing.
I mean, even with the FD's point, I keep bringing it back to FD, but FD's point of like in the very first video that he put out, he's like, he shouldn't be what y'all are putting clips of every day on Majority Report or Conklin, whatever. He should be your sneaky link. He should be you vote for him, you don't tell nobody. You don't even tell anybody this is happening really in Maine. You just be like, hey, there's also an interesting Senate race in Maine where like a progressive candidate might win over an establishment Republican who's been there for 30 years. Right. The end. And then let's highlight this candidate over here, Daria Liza. Let's highlight Kat Abou-Ghazala. Let's highlight Abdullah Sayed. Let's highlight people that we know confirmed don't have fucking sketchy pasts. And the fact that the establishment is already trying to connect. Well, Daria Liza had bad posts in the past. She had posts saying fuck Kamala Harris because of a fucking genocide. That is different than Graham Platner on Reddit 15 years ago being like, well, maybe she should watch what she's wearing when she's around drunk guys. Like, those are very different sentiments. But they're both incendiary comments. Again, looking at everything in the same frame of these are just bad things. Let's both sides this so I can pretend to be a professional fucking journalist. It's fucking ridiculous.
I want to say, and in closing, because we only got a couple minutes left, but like I want to bring it back full circle to why like this is men, this is our responsibility to where there is what FD Signifier is saying, and a lot of leftist media is saying about like we shouldn't placate to this kind of stuff. And it's true. We should not be centering white men or straight men in these spaces that these are the people I need to be pandered to. Right. But I want to separate of that's how the world should work, and that's the world that we should be trying to build compared to if we're going to be in the elections game of how it is. Just understand what I'm saying. You have to divorce your mind of that and say, well, if we want to win the main Senate race, it's going to be a guy who looks and sounds like Graham Platner, but there's going to be hard lines of he can't be a racist or a rapist or a misogynist or a homophobe or any of this shit. But like in my closet back here, he might have firearms. He might have coworker politics to where like he just wants to drink a 6-pack and get on Call of Duty. You know, it might be some shit that you find crass, but as long as he's not hitting our like non-negotiable red lines of, you know, homophobia, misogyny, shit like that, then we're going to have to make space for this person and be like, hey dog, cool. Like, come on in, because it's just going to look different.
Right.
It's going to, yes. When I enter, I'm a black man, and when I enter leftist spaces, queer and queer people and women look at me like, what the fuck are you doing here? Are you about to hate crime me? And that's fine. I don't feel a kind of way about it. It is what it is. But it's my job and it's our job to be like, no, we're not going to hate crime you. I might be into different stuff than you are, but we're all on the same squad. And if you when you need a body, I will be there for you.
That's especially as black folks. As black folks, I know I'm very white passing, but
I got you.
You know, like it is black socialism. Like that's what is needed for this country. It's black politics. It's black liberation. Black people fucking started all these goddamn movements because they were taken here forcibly from fucking Africa.
Mm-hmm.
It is the progressive, any kind of progress of civil rights in this country starts with black folks because of our history of slavery. I just found out where my fucking ancestors were owned recently. It was fucking weird to like know where your name comes from. I'm like, oh, that's a slave owner name. Interesting. It's very shocking, dude. It is, and again, yeah, might walk into a room and they think, oh shit, you're gonna hurt me, and you go, look, I'm not. We're also gonna have to break. I don't know if you've seen the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. I just watched it. Where it's about like Fred Hampton, very, not necessarily 100% accurate story, but Fred Hampton like going to break bread and like make comrades, white people who are very racist, but are more mad at their bosses,
right?
More mad at the establishment that keeps them fucking poor. So then they start building a coalition, and that's when fucking money gets scared. Right. And that's when they start getting fucking worried and fucking pulling at their collars because they know the guillotines are getting sharpened. It is important that, again, I think I've said this yesterday. I think it would be a bigger win, honestly, for the progressive movement if we are able to stick and move and he drops out, someone replaces him with the same platform and he win or they win over Susan Collins. Then you can't even get, even if this was like, if this was a fucking all made up, the Mossad made fake documents and hired an actress and blah, 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 then you can't even beat us then. You can't even beat us with your best fucking tactics. And of course, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I believe this.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I'm just like for posterity when this gets clipped. Yeah. And we can go a little bit longer, by the way. So I'm going to finish this out if you want to stick around. But yeah, let's see what the rest of this is.
Sure. I do got to bounce up, but yeah, let's finish.
Okay.
And I also feel an immense amount of responsibility to everyone who has worked so hard to get us to where we are.
I'll put it on 1.5.
Please.
We went toe-to-toe with one of the most entrenched political systems in the history of the world, and we won. We beat them on June 9th in overwhelming numbers. We did it the right way. We built a campaign. We engaged in electoral politics. We motivated people. We banded together. We did it the way that we were told we are supposed to make change. And we won. And now they are not going to let us have it. Not if it's me. And so we're suspending campaign operations. I want to make clear, though, I intend to file my paperwork to withdraw. The process needs to assure that what comes next is reflective of the Mainers who on June 9th turned out and showed that they are desperate for a different kind of politics.
That's so manipulative, man. That's what narcissists do, man. They're like trying to control shit even when it's spun completely out of control. Still trying to manipulate. Still with every breath, I just understand this is just a guy who wanted to win a thing. He has no principles or conviction. He is willing. Think about what he's saying. I want you to understand what he's saying. He is willing to let his name be drugged through the mud still and to be called a rapist for the rest of his life and have to walk around Maine so he can control the outcome of a fucking Senate race. What a piece of garbage. He doesn't care. That shows me how much he cares about his wife. He doesn't care about her or her reputation. If that was me, I'd be thinking, God damn, now my wife's got to walk around town.
Yeah, it's Bill Clinton
and be like, he's married to this piece of shit. Mm-hmm. Nah, bro. Nah, fuck this.
Bill Clinton, I'm gonna fucking I didn't do it, but also I'm gonna kind of take a back seat. Like it's fucking ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
Not from back rooms, but by the will of the people. And the decisions that come next must come from that. All we were asking for was health care, was to end the genocide,
Ugh.
to use our taxpayer dollars at home to uplift our communities instead of waging war overseas. We were asking for a fair system.
I mean, again, think about a conservative saying this. All I wanted to do was save America. All I wanted to do was make America great again. And blah, blah, blah. Like, it's the same kind of shit. It's the same. Just replace the words in your mind. It's the same. Again, dude, fucking rape culture, dude. It could be anywhere on the political spectrum. It's just here, and this is what it is.
We were asking for an end to the corruption, the end to the money in politics.
This doesn't need to be 11 minutes.
We were asking for real democracy, and we did it the right way, and we won. But now the ball is in the court of the Democratic establishment. My name might be on the ballot right now, but that ballot line belongs to the people of Maine. And on November 3rd, it needs to belong to the people of Maine. And the next Democratic senator for Maine needs to belong to the people of Maine. They need to reflect the will and the values of the people of this state.
Shout out Pep Talks raid. You know, we are going over. This is like breaking news.
Yeah, where is Pep? Spring Pep.
I know. Pep's exhausted from covering this for the past 3 days.
So wild.
But like, yeah, Natch, it's Platner. This is new. This is breaking. Like, this is his statement that he just put out. So we're finishing it up here.
I love this state. I love Maine, and I love Mainers in ways that I can't really describe.
Jeez, don't say that.
I'm immensely proud of what we have built.
Don't say I love people in the ways I can't describe, dumbass. But the what fucking allegations? Where is it comms people, you fuck? God damn it. Like, again, I'm not frustrated. Like, just like you failed the people. You failed the people, Platner. You failed anything you're professing to care about, you fucked it up. Like you were saying, Lumen. You fucked it. He fucked it up. He fucked it up.
And I have the utmost faith that we will continue to build and we will continue to move towards a better future. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank all of you. And keep fighting. We're going to win someday.
All right.
Loser, dude. What a loser.
Fucking Christ, dude.
What a fucking loser, bro. I mean, I got to dip out, but I'm going to leave y'all with the just to hammer home. If you're watching again, leftist spaces, we got to eliminate. We got to make sure a guy like this cannot even get close to power again. I honestly, however this turns out, and it's gross, there's two silver linings here. One, I think now hearing him talk and hearing the way that he has tried to justify is not the right word, but the way that he's tried to spin this, I think we just dodged Fetterman 2.0.
Yeah.
One. Two, he never aligned himself with the left. So thank God for that. And remind anybody who ever tries to, this guy is not associated with DSA. He's not associated with socialism. He's not associated with communism. He is associated with the mainstream Democratic Party. And he decided to run the way that the Democratic Party will run in the future. And then everybody, we will. Israel's a done project. That's done. We're going to have Medicare for all. We're going to have, it is, or we're going to have, all this country is just going to go into the dustbin of history. These things are going to happen. It's just the growing pains of the new world that's being built. But I would say to anybody who's not a cis straight man out there, and you consider yourself in this movement that's left to build a new world, it is not your job to make space for us, but it is your job to tell us to go get your people. Yeah. Go get your people and make them stop acting like this.
Yeah.
Because we have to build a world where we have to build a world of the old school left of our grandfathers who were laborers and union men and bricklayers, and they took care of their families, and they were upright men who
all the shit he was bullshitting about, all the shit he was fucking spewing out of his mouth that I liked early on, that I was highlighting. Hey, I need somebody talking about positive masculinity. Right. I need somebody giving an off-ramp to the people who are watching Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, who are watching fucking, I don't know who's watching the Daily Wire, but like, whatever. Off-ramp to the people that to bring up FD Signifier one last time, he mentions at the end of his latest video, going like, BreadTube's initial thrust was trying to get people away from the alt-right. Here's an alternative to that shit. It's what my channel is, where I'm like, here, I'm making album reactions, I'm making movie reviews, video game stuff, and I'm in those videos that you would click on, not thinking he's going to talk politics. I'm talking some politics because all art is political, and I'm going to fucking bring it back to the shit that fucking matters. In my Star Fox review that I just made of the new Star Fox game, which is great, by the way, you should get it. I mentioned like Sony discontinuing making physical discs.
That's a huge thing for young men.
It's fucking huge. Xbox firing like 5,000 fucking people, shuttering studios that just put out great games or just had games announced and then being like, actually, we're shuttering that fucking studio. This shit matters, and it matters that people are, again, it's stupid that people on the internet are talking into cameras like fucking cam girls 20 fucking years ago and giving political opinions. But this is the fucking landscape that we're in. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to fucking do it. And yes, I was wrong. I'm taking accountability. You were right the first time we talked about this. I think the first time we talked, maybe one-on-one, was about Platner. And you were like, I don't know, man. He should have known about that tattoo. The post.
No, that wasn't my thing. The tattoo was the tattoo was fine because I'm like, young, dumb people with disposable income is what you are in the Marine Corps get dumb tattoos every day that don't know what they mean. How many people you know walking around with kanji on their neck don't know what fucking thing?
Oh, it says sunshine.
I get it. It's a skull. But okay, that's fine. But obviously, we found out he was lying about that.
Right.
What got me about Platner was his story never made any fucking sense because he said, oh man, the horrors of war and the things I had to do in Afghanistan, it was awful. And then therefore I joined a fucking mercenary squad. I joined Blackwater. I'm like, this makes no sense. What are you talking about? That was my thing with him. But yeah, I got jumped though, man.
It's all right.
Catch you next time, bro.
We'll end it right here. I mean,
all right, cool.
You know, Nick could clip it out and Jack can clip it out and make the Platner response video of me and you talking about this. But like, I want to end here with, this is the importance of fucking independent media. You know, yes, some people got it wrong. Jordan Report, Kokolinsky, whatever. But that's why you need a diverse media diet. And you need to be watching FD. You need to be watching Olay. You need to be watching Leftist Mafia. Had a great discussion about this a couple weeks ago where half the panel was supportive and half the panel wasn't. And they were making arguments to each other. That's what this space is about. It's about where we all agree on the shared fucking vision, but we might have different ideas about tactics and how to get there. And sometimes some of us, like me, are going to have to eat crow and be like, I was fucking wrong about this guy. Fuck this guy. And you take a little, hey, you were right, tip of the hat. But like, we're not flaunting in each other's faces just to make
it is what it is.
And don't
we gotta do better.
Each other on fucking Twitter. That's where I'm like, then go fuck yourselves. If your whole thing is just like, I want you to read my Substack over this person's Substack or watch my podcast over their podcast, then you're just a fucking greedy, craven, whatever. Right. And you might as well be making fucking hip hop media or fucking video game media or movie things. Watch my channel over at Star Wars Theory. Watch Eckhart's Ladder over at Star Wars Theory, whatever it is. Like, it's just content to make content so that you can make money. And if that's all you're about, then be fucking upfront about it. Like I am, where I'm like, yeah, I want to talk about video games, movies, TV, and music because that's what I find interesting. I also find politics interesting. So I want to talk about that too in my videos and on this space. But do I know everything? No, I'm going to fucking have experts on. I'm going to talk to people like you who are in the Marine Corps, who know the fucking culture, and I can color my fuck. After we had that discussion, I brought him up less over the next few months because I'm like, I still like what he's saying, and I don't, whatever. It's this tattoo thing, but like, I trust your judgment, and to be like, let me highlight some of these other people more than keep bringing up Platner over and over again. And we're talking to what, maybe like 10 people at a time. Right now, 27, but this is the importance of vetting too. I mean, obviously, they need to fucking vet and joining organizations like DSA. Where, Deter was talking about how they're fucking scattered and don't really want to be centralized, but it doesn't matter, DSA. It doesn't matter. Look at the fucking landscape in front of you. You have the fucking ball now, motherfuckers. And we're taking over the Democratic Party. You need fucking people to go on the Sunday shows. You need people to go on the fucking independent media and talk about how this shit works, how you vet candidates, which candidates you like and don't like. You caught the car, dog. You caught the fucking car.
Right.
And we got to fucking drive it now because Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are rotting. And so is Mitch McConnell. Like, it's our fucking time now. It's our time. So thank you, Lumen, for letting me hang out
welcome, brother. Absolutely. I will see you again very, very soon.
And we will see you again soon. Share this space, like this space. Tell people that we are here because we are fucking covering breaking news like you just saw. And have a good evening, folks. You know, as much as you can. Take care.